Hello everybody, MicroSpecGamer here. So today I'll be doing another tier list, and this time it's for the Spy. The Spy I don't play as much, but one thing I know, he is argued to be the most situational character in the game, which I kind of agree with, and I feel like he's kind of in the mixed bag category for me, but I'm not really a Spy main. Regardless though, I played the game way too long already to know how he works and exactly which weapons would go where in this tier. So I'm just gonna keep it simple, S, A, B, C, and D. And don't forget to like the video guys and subscribe, it does help me a lot. And let's get onto it. So the first weapon here. The first weapon is the Ambassador. And Ambassador, it's still a great weapon. It gives a Spy an option to headshot once he's actually up close to an enemy. Sadly, it was nerfed. The weapon was pretty much, it made a Spy almost like a sniper. Even, I would argue, even better than a sniper because he would not need the to scope in. And also, it's 100% accurate compared to every other bullet spread weapon. This weapon doesn't have bullet spread if you shoot slowly enough. So it does have also a slower shooting speed, and it does also do minus 15% damage, but it has still the 100% accuracy depending on where you want to shoot it. You have to depend to shoot it slowly, not too fast. This weapon is still great for Spy, although it is definitely it would be an S tier if it was before the nerf they did to it, but now it has also a massive damage drop-off, so you cannot really headshot people as easily, and even if you do, it's not going to register from a distance, and also critical damage, as this is right here, is affected by range, which is pretty bad for a Spy, but he's meant to be a close and silent killer. He's not supposed to be like the sniper. Kind of makes it redundant if you have two characters that play like sniper, and that is why they also changed it. You play way too much like sniper with this weapon. Despite it being very hard to use, I mean, before it was kind of hard to use, but now it's, you can see why. I can see why they nerfed it. It's just, it was way too overpowered. Almost like a sniper as a Spy is kind of unfair. This weapon here, the Enforcer, sadly, it's not as good. It can technically ignore the vaccinators. Like it just ignores any resistance, which is good against to kill medics. But I would put it right here just because it's very situational. It's only the damage bonus you get from it. The 20% damage bonus is only when disguised, which means you only get the first shot to actually do more damage, which is kind of unfortunate because no random critical hits, and this is probably the most painful one, but even slower than the Ambassador. Minus 20% firing speed or shooting speed. Makes Spy pretty much weaker, and it's only good against resistances, so you can kill, I guess you can kill, you can definitely kill the soldier if he has any of his buffs, like the buff banner, and pretty much a medic with his vaccinator, which is pretty useful against him, but that is it. Like, there isn't much about this weapon. The next one is the Diamondback. This weapon is arguably the best weapon, one of the best weapons in the game, especially for Spy. It's just, I mean, it is for Spy only, but this weapon is pretty much like for the Engineer, the Frontier Justice. Just for the Spy, you pretty much have to play the class to earn what you're supposed to get, or what you're gonna get. Pretty much free crits once you backstab people and you actually do your job as a Spy. So it does have a few downsides. It does do the same amount of damage as the Ambassador. Same downside, as in you do have the minus 15% damage, but there's no headshots, and you just get too many benefits from it. You get free crits. It's just too powerful in my opinion, but it's still pretty, it is too powerful. I cannot really say it's not too powerful at that point. But anyone that plays Spy and actually plays them like the way they have to play them, they'll definitely want to use this one, just because 3 crits. You also do backstabs, what a spy has to do. And you can kill engineers pretty quickly or anyone else. You can pretty much shut down a heavy in 3 shots. Not really a fair fight here. So yeah, the Diamondback is just too powerful, in my opinion. It just makes it Spy more powerful than what he's supposed to be already. Which is kind of surprising because Spy is usually one of the weaker classes. The next one is the Let's Run J. I can't really pronounce it properly, but it is in French. So on this one, I actually use it quite a lot, if not the most. I would put it right here, just because I would say these two are very similar. You can play more passively, or you can play as a spy more often. This one is good because it gives you 40% disguise time, 40% more disguising time, which is not disguising, invisibility time is what I mean. So this one makes you almost invisible, almost 50% more, which is crazy. It's actually 40, but it's very ridiculous. For a passive like this one is pretty big. The Let's Ranger, I'm not gonna call it. Let's Ranger, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. But you pretty much can regenerate infinite amount of pretty much 15% charge to cloak every time you hit someone, excluding buildings. So you pretty much can use this with the Dead Ringer to have almost an infinite, I guess you can say, life insurance, because this is pretty much life insurance for a spy. It's pretty powerful. It's just weaker than the average weapon. It does have minus 20% damage penalty, but it gives you a huge passive, and it's a utility weapon. It's just too good. It's also very good. I would say they're both in the same ballpark of being kind of broken. Next one is the Revolver. I'm just gonna put it right here. It's a solid weapon, not that popular. Usually you would use the Big Kill, which I'm actually surprised it's not even on this list. The Big Kill just has a more satisfying shooting sound. Like, it's more satisfying every time you use it. And also it looks fancier. But other than that, it's usually, this weapon, the Revolver, is just a sword, one of the sword stock weapons in a game. And it's pretty good. Nothing else to say about it. It does its job whenever you need to use it. Now the Zapper. These weapons here are just meant for buildings, as you guys probably would know already. This one, there's only 2 here, but I'm just gonna say right now, if you want to be a serious, or at least play spy more seriously, the Zapper is a solid A. And the red tape recorder, I'll put it at B, just because this is more of a trolling weapon. You just rewind people's buildings, and it takes way longer to destroy their buildings. This is, I would say, effective against mini sentries, because the engineer cannot destroy a sentry, which wastes their time. And this is more effective. Usually the best way to destroy a sentry or buildings is zap them and shoot them at the same time. So you can destroy them while or zap them while you also shoot them. It's the most efficient way for a spy to destroy sentry nests. This one is just to rewind, and it takes way too long. Anyone can just take it out, like an engineer or another pyro with the home wrecker. Kind of it's a gimmicky weapon. It's not as serious. Maybe if you can place more than one, that would be interesting. I would say that should be the buff for that. Although many people would probably disagree with me, have like 2 of these instead of 1, just because it's very slow and it takes a while for the building to undo itself. And now for the watches. The Cloak and Dagger. Very popular for just camping in one area and doing absolutely nothing an entire round, but also can be very effective and pretty much being a spy. You can go into any area, and it's a good combo with the Ranger or Ranger. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, because it has a longer cloak time, which this is also short. Is very short based on motion if you move, and you can cloak infinitely if you just stay in one area. But if you move, you'll drain your cloak pretty quickly, which this negates a bit. So it's a good watch, but it's you have to be a very effective spy. You have to be constantly moving and make sure that you know where you're going. Obviously, you should not move too much, unlike the stock watch I'm going to talk right now. And a stock watch, I just put it in the same ballpark. They're kind of even. One is more for idealing as a spy, being idle and waiting for the perfect target, while this one is better for, if you have these two, your cloak time will be very long and you can pretty much go right through an entire map without an issue, as long as you don't bump into anyone. This one, you also have to remember it charges faster when you stand still, when you have it off, but you have a risk of pretty much doing nothing. It's a weird habit for people just using this and doing nothing at all. I was one of them in the beginning when I played the Spy, so kind of a mixed bag about this one, but I would put them evenly just because they're both good in different situations. Now the Dead Ringer. This is infamous for being one of the most annoying clutch weapons for Spy, just because it saves them from so many things. And I'll put it right here. I think the Dead Ringer, after all its nerfs, pretty much now you cannot refill your ammo with ammo packs, or I mean your recharge. You cannot just recharge the Dead Ringer whenever you want to. You actually have to go to spawn to recharge it. But this actually negates its weakness. Once you use these two together, you pretty much have to only shoot 4 times to just get a fully recharged Dead Ringer, which you can fake your death. Which is kind of unfair, I think, but this is just one of the most broken combos in a game. It's ridiculous. Just gonna say like that, it makes Spy very hard to kill and very annoying if you know how to use these two without much issue. So for the next one is the Spicicle, and this one is obviously, I'm not sure if you guys will be surprised or not, but I'll put it right here. It was nerfed. It does now make a sound. It used to be silent, like your eternal reward or the UOR or your UER, I mean, but it's been almost pretty much, it was pretty much an upgrade to this weapon right here, the knife here. And they pretty much nerfed it by making it not silent kills anymore, and you can also see whoever dies on the screen, unlike this one. So pretty much now, aside from the Spicicle creating icicles of other people when they get stabbed, the ragdolls become pretty much ice. It also makes their sound and it's visible to the screen. Usually you see it on the right side of the screen. So it's still pretty overpowered though, because it counters one of Spy's biggest issues against Pyros, which is Afterburn. Makes him immune to Afterburn for a few seconds. Despite it melting, there are so many ways to kill a Pyro without even needing the knife. Like you can kill them with the Diamondback, which is guaranteed crits, only takes 2 shots. Or you can just keep using the Dead Ringer combo here with the Frenchman without any issue. So for the next one, guys, this one is probably the one. It's the hardest weapon to use in the game just because it makes you so squishy. And this one, if you're a professional spy, I would probably put it an S. But if you're not a professional spy or you don't know how to backstab at well, it can be as bad as C or D. I'm just gonna put it at B to be neutral. But this weapon can pretty much make you immortal. You pretty much cannot die as long as you can backstab. And if you know how to detect anyone's back, like their head scan, like you know exactly where to backstab them and how they turn. But otherwise, you're gonna die so many times because despite its slight buff, before it was minus 65 max health on wearer, which is pretty weak already. Now it's minus 55, so 10 health difference. Not too much, but it pretty much absorbs all the or overheals you to how much you backstab the person. So effective against heavies, but it makes you very squishy, and you pretty much will die very easily by almost like one rocket or anything else. So it's like this is like a vamp You become like a vampire spy with this weapon. Now for the your eternal reward. Your eternal reward is a decent weapon. It makes you pretty much a silent killer, makes you more like a spy, actually like a spy. And I would put it actually right. I would put it right here. It makes the spy's job easier. It doesn't display his kill to the other team, and you pretty much cannot even hear the backstab of like you cannot hear someone getting backstabbed. They just turn into the spy disguises as the person they backstab immediately, without any sound. And you should also they buffed it by making it that you can still disguise, but it drains 100% of your cloak meter, which is pretty hard to use with the Deadringer, but it's also a good combo with the Cloak and Dagger because it regenerates over time far faster than its stock. So these two definitely help each other here. Combine all these three together, it can be very good. Or you can even have the Ur and the Diamondback together to be an ultimate spy, I guess, like the ultimate sit for a spy. He backs up someone quietly, you can shoot and kill someone very quickly as well. So it's a pretty good combo. But also this weapon is just, it makes Spy more of a spy. He becomes a silent killer, as I said before. And for the next one, it's Stock Knife. Pretty solid weapon. But I'd probably put it, all his knives are pretty good, honestly. Like most of it, all his knives. Stock Knife is pretty good, it's efficient. It has no gimmick weakness, like it doesn't drain your cloak meter or makes your weapon disappear or chases you where you left off someone's body or they turn into like an icicle. So this is pretty solid. It also doesn't sacrifice your health like the kunai, which is very risky. So it pretty much this is more of a safer weapon, but if you really want to go to the safer route against pyros, the Spicicle is definitely better. Pretty solid weapon. And for the last one, this one is kind of hard for me to put where exactly put it. But this is probably the best for chain backstabs. And I would put it right here just because it's like it decreases your health by 25 health instead of the kunais, which is way worse. But it makes you go, it boosts you every time you backstab someone. So if you're a professional spy like Swipes, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, I'm sure he can pretty much chain stab an entire team with this. A professional spy would be able to chain stab and use their speed boost as an advantage. Sadly though, you don't disguise. Imagine a combo with these two if they had the same stat, it was very similar stat. This weapon, I would put it at one of the lower ones. Actually, I would put it right here to be fair here. It's good. It will be S here, but it's A on here because at least it's more usable than the kunai, which is very squishy. But it pretty much makes you a chain stabber, which is very powerful in the right hands, but it can also be pretty bad because you can be detected pretty easily if you do one mistake here. And that'll be it for the video, guys. Tell me if you disagree or agree. I don't really play Spy as much, but I know that he's one of the hardest classes to master as well, just because of his hitbox. Like you have to know where they're turning. Sometimes it's a game. I've seen many games where the heavy is facing front and the spy face stabs him. Like the game Team Fortress 2 it has an old engine and it makes no sense sometimes how they backstab, but that's how it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'd like to hear also your opinions down in the comments below. Bye.